goddamn little recording app only gives you an hour. And it's my fault though. I was supposed to be checking the time, but we got cut off. This is the continuation of number 1, called number 2. So we were just talking about.
We talked
moose.
Since.
Yeah, we kept talking.
So this may actually seem like an inorganic leap to a weird topic, but it wasn't. I assure you. I can't tell you what was between, but we got onto the topic of how self-aware a moose was, or is. How conscious a moose might be.
And other animals, really.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that is the question.
So, like, the point you made was that they're conscious enough to obviously exist and survive and reproduce, but that they're not building houses or sending emails or making trousers.
Adaptation.
Yeah. And I was wondering, like, how involved a male moose is in the rearing of the young, and, like, if he ever shows up to take care of business if they're in trouble. Like, moose in shining armor comes up and saves the day. There's, like, a bear or something.
I'm sure he would if he knew what he was doing.
Yeah. Yeah, that does feel shitty. That does feel fake and forced, doesn't it? Yeah. We thought it would be, like, really fun to, like, revisit that joke that came up just in conversation, but...
That wasn't really much of a joke. It was just the idea of it.
Yeah. I find that's just, like, it's silly to try and, like, catch on to things sometimes, like, just because it's like, oh, as if there's not going to be some other funny thing we talk about.
Well, I mean... Yeah. I think there's people in general really like to discredit other animals. And now I'm not, and they also there's a lot of people who also really love to discredit humanity too.
That's really in vogue lately.
It is very stylish to just be a goddamn fucking anarchist, and I get it. Like, I used to think that way all the time. I used to, like, back in, like, when I was 12. Like, there is an appeal, I guess, to, hit the reset button on this piece of shit or whatever. But it's a bad attitude to have.
It is really bad, 'cause it's so, like, it's like Peterson was talking about this book he just finished reading. Now I need to start remembering book titles and authors and shit, but it was like a book all about why being was so rife with suffering and corruption that it would just have been better to have nothing exist at all ever. And it's like, okay, so...
Well, clearly the universe thinks it's pretty alright for, like, to let evolution be, you know what I mean?
Well, what gets me the most...
It's like, what happens when these things collide,
Yeah, it's...
And, look, it's a planet.
Arrogant in that sense to say that. And then it's also, like, from just a sheerly practical standpoint, where does that get you?
Yeah.
So you adopt that as your basic assumptions about existence. That would just be better for no existence. How are you going to do... How is that going to result in any good if you fucking seriously actually believe that? Like, it just leaves you in a absolutely helpless situation, and it's not practical. It's just it's so inhuman too. I think for real, it's just so not. It's just not reflective of the actual human spirit and all the merits it has. And obviously its faults are innumerable, but so are its merits. Like, I don't know. Just from a sheer practicality.
I think that's part and parcel of being a living thing. Like I said, like, they discredit animals too. Like, they're. I can't remember who said it, but they alluded to the idea of, like, we're pretty, we got technology and we're self-aware and we have multiple thumbs. We're bipedal, But, like, I think he must have been some kind of evolutionary biologist or a biologist in some capacity, but he was like, can you fly? You know, like, can you breathe underwater or whatever? Like, can you...
The thing that makes us super meta is that we can make technology to do all that. But
yeah, that is very... it is very meta.
We're like the meta animal. We can do it.
In a sense.
Transcending all other animals.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we have... but... Still gotta know our place for sure. Just like a node in the... among others.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But what gets me about it, it's like, so like you can shit all over humanity all you want, but if you want to think that you know somehow more than existence and evolution and nature and the universe all do, then
good
great.
luck.
Sure enough, despite the fact that you are the end result of all that happening, and it's just, oh no, that wasn't good. So it's kind of a joke in that way, but
it's a dark joke, but
yeah, I just feel like nature selects and chooses what traits get to, and that's, there's like sexual selection and social selection and then environmental selection, and like apparently the mycelium networks of fungus in the soil basically determine the entire nature of the ecosystem.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because they're the node where life and death meet.
Yeah.
They're the living things that live off the dead things, and then
it's also where all animals came from.
Yeah.
Apparently, I didn't know that until recently. Thanks to
like
Paul
a
Stamets.
fungal similarity kind of.
Like we all came from fungus.
Yeah.
That were basically just a crazy
varieties of like single-celled, like unicellular organisms.
Specifically fungus, though.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Like we used fungus, and then plants were some completely other different branch of the tree.
Yeah, they were another.
And that all animals
they were another
arose
amoeba.
out of fungus. Yeah.
What a trip.
I know. Oh, dude, that Rogan podcast I just watched with Paul Stamets, it just fucking blew my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everyone should watch Joe Rogan and Paul Stamets. It's like 1040 something, the podcast number, but you would easily find it on YouTube. It's just full of 3 hours of mind-blowing information. Like that one that I didn't know. But yeah, and so anyways, to say that humanity is just like
shouldn't have happened.
It's like, well, then why would nature allow for it? It's just it's not a very sophisticated answer, I don't think. It's
a cop out.
It's a pretty weak cop out, yeah. Pretty weak, guys.
Hey, puppy. Oh, whoa.
You guys going on a mission?
Yes.
Nice.
A feed, you might say.
A what?
A feed.
A feed.
That's a noof term. I didn't know it was a noof term, but then I heard a noof say it, and I was like, they say that a lot. I know they do.
You know what James taught me a term about?
Yeah. Taught a term to me.
Yeah. He was like, you know what word I didn't know came from the Maritimes, whatever? Fucking having a conniption fit. And I was like, what the fuck is having a conniption fit? I've never heard of it.
Really?
No.
Really?
And he was like, man, you go over to your buddy's house.
Don't have a conniption fit. Don't freak out. Don't freak out.
Well, yeah, that's what and I was just like, the example James gave was like, go over to your buddy's house and he keeps fucking stealing all your darts off you, you're gonna have a fucking conniption fit.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you mention that because I think I saw a video that was going over, Cape Bretonisms or something along those lines, and that came up, and I was like, I thought the same thing. I don't know. I must have read it before somewhere else because I wasn't like as shocked because I had heard the phrase before.
Yeah.
But then, like, to hear, it's like, wait a minute. Like, I don't even know if it's a word.
We grew up saying it.
That's what I'm saying. It's been around.
We gotta Google it.
I mean, I guess. Dictionary.com is my go-to.
Yeah, I got the app.
Yeah, I love it.
What the hell is a conniption? You're gonna throw a fucking conniption fit, by. Boy, the Jesus. Alright, maybe we should just wrap it up. End it on conniption fit.
If you want.
Yeah, me as well. I guess we were trying to do like a desperate you know, you gotta go back for the moose joke. I guess it's just the image of like a moose riding on horseback and shining in armor on a steed to save the cow and the calves from like Ronald Reagan or something. All right, that's it. That's number 1. Good night.